might be like growing up, I was not good at math, so there was tension.
It sounds
in
like
math.
detention.
Tension. Okay, so it can be emotionally like hard on you sometimes, right? It can hurt your brain. Like math didn't come easy for me, so there's some tension there. Shattered. When something is shattered, it is completely destroyed and or broken, ruined. Okay.
Ooh,
Perish. To perish is to disappear or vanish. Okay.
That's bad. To put something cut in a refrigerator. It could turn.
That's making me hungry. Opposed. If someone is opposed to something, he or she is
Mad at each other.
no
Foolish.
against,
Oh.
right? And you see, look. Oppose has the word oppose means opposite. So they are thinking in opposite ways, right? Okay. Haste. If something is done in haste, it is done with
Careful. No, hurry.
It's hurried, right? It's moving fast or acting or in an acting. Quickness in moving or in
Whose
acting.
song is that?
Hi! We are not grabbing him for group because he is going to be in a different group. Okay, something that is divided is separated into
Pieces.
pieces or parts. Good. We were just reviewing these. Okay, we finished off with Nellie Bly. Tell me about Nellie Bly.
She wanted
I
to
know
be
you were gone
reporter.
yesterday, so
I
we're
know,
going to
like
get caught
Justin
up.
Bieber. She wanted to be reporter. Justin Bieber. And Justin Bieber doesn't look like that. Nellie Bly wanted
Well,
to
she's
be
got
reporter.
shorter hair, I guess, in front.
It's because we stopped in traffic.
Justin Bieber probably has hair that long. Right?
Yeah, there's two.
And what do we know about Nellie Bly?
She wanted to be a reporter.
A reporter. Good, Nevaeh. So, she wanted to be a journalist reporter. So she moved to where?
She moved to no.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Right? Okay, so she moved to a big city. And she became, was Nellie Bly her real name?
No.
Tyray? No. Why did she have a fake name?
Because she didn't like she didn't sound like a boy because girls couldn't have jobs.
Okay, love it. And you know what? Maybe she didn't want people to think that she was a reporter, or maybe she just wanted a new title for her name, right? Or well, she wrote her name Nellie Bly when she first had opposing views, right? On what? There was a specific article about what? Life for women in the 1800s.
Oh, they had a.
Remember, she wrote in and said, "I disagree," right? And guess what? They liked her opposing view so much that they hired her to be a reporter, didn't they?
Yep.
Okay.
So on this page.
So we are on chapter 2.
I finished chapter 2 over there.
Super. Then you'll be that much better of a reader, right? Okay, chapter 2. I'm going to start with you, Nevaeh. Bly started
working as a reporter with the
Pittsburgh Dispatch.
Dispatch.
That means that was the newspaper that she wrote for.
In 1885. She didn't want to write about burning and flashing. She wrote about things she wanted people to know. Bly's story often divide.
Bly's stories. Right here. Bly's stories
Often
divided
divided.
public opinion. Do you know what that means?
No.
So
Divided is one of our words.
Good. Good.
This is the
It's the public's opinion and it's divided, and that's exactly what Tyray said. Divided means what?
Means it's parts or
Divided into and separated into parts or pieces. Okay, so that means
highlighted or bold.
I don't know. But divided means that there's multiple views on the way that she writes, and the public have multiple views on the stories that she writes. Yeah, I know, we're getting there.
Why does it say newspaper?
I don't know. We'll get there.
It says newspaper.
Well, I wrote. Let's start with you. Well, I wrote about. Where are they? Where are those women working? Sometimes
Fabric.
pictures. Good. They're probably working on fabric, right? They're factories, right?
Factories with working.
With poor working conditions.
So, some of these factories
Paid
to
sound it out. Advertise
in the
Pittsburgh Dispatch, right?
Pittsburgh Dispatch. Newspaper use the money from
There's that word again. Advertising.
advertising.
Everybody needs to be following along.
The newspaper. I am following.
I'm talking to everyone, not just you. Do you know who you are?
Told to stop around in the paper. Bly's
Story caused tension.
At the newspaper. The
Editor told
Bly to write about other topics.
Okay, so what are some details we know?
That Bly has to find another topic
Okay, so she has to find another topic. Why?
because it's causing attention to the newspapers.
Another topic. Okay. What's another detail?
I know.
She had a daring. Look, what's the title called?
Bly's daring job.
Daring job. She had a daring job. What does daring mean?
Something hard job.
It's hard, right? She has to take some
really hard classes.
Well, she has to take on some pretty hard stuff, right? The job is not easy, and so she has to probably step out of her comfort zone and try new things and experiences that she's never had, right? She has to take some risks. I'm gonna write risks right there. So what happened? She wrote about factories with poor working conditions, and who were in those factories?
Women.
The women. Yes, women in factories work long hours for very little money. Imagine yourself in a factory.
With
So
a
many
little
hours, yeah.
With a little bit of money. They
Okay.
should pay me like a whole bunch.
And some of the factories paid to advertise in the Pittsburgh Dispatch, which was the newspaper. And newspaper used the money from the advertising to produce the newspaper. The factories threatened to stop advertising in the paper. So her story caused some tension. And what does tension mean? That was one of our words.
Hard. Working really hard.
It caused some tension.
Right there. Tension.
There it is. Tension is mental and emotional strain, right? So it hurts your brain, right?
My head.
It's like coming to school like on very little sleep and not eating, right? Yeah. Like your body, you're not ready to learn. You're tired. Just that's how it was back then. Working in factories.
At my old school, if we were too tired, the teacher would send us to the nursery because
Yeah.
You guys are
That's probably when you were younger, right? Mm-hmm. Did you have something to say, Mr. Tyree? You want to read? You're ready. I love it. I love it. Fly on the run.
Bly
Refuse.
to write about same things in
I want everybody to use their pointer finger
1886. She
so I know you're following along.
to editor to convince the editor to send her to Mexico. She told him that she would write about her travels, but Bly also wrote about a
Mexican
Mexican
journalist.
journalist
So somebody that kind of had her job.
who had been sent to prison because he had complained about the Mexican government.
Good.
Bly left Mexico to
Avoid
being arrested. She
published. Good.
published her
She's writing stories.
stories in a book called 6 Months in Mexico. Bly moved in New York City. She spent 4 months looking for another newspaper job. Then she started writing for New York World.
Good.
I was
Patient.
too impatient to work at the
Usual.
brand a single woman
Duties assigned.
woman on newspapers.
Okay, what does that mean? I was too impatient to work at the usual duties assigned women on newspapers.
That means she wanted to do it fast. She wanted to get done with it.
Yeah, but
she didn't want to wait.
she wanted to step out of her comfort zone. She wanted other duties, right? And just because she was a woman, she probably wasn't given the duties that she wanted. She wanted the duties that men probably wanted too. She wanted to be created equal, right? So she got up and left. And where did she go?
New York.
To New York. And she searched for a job in New York. Okay? So, what other details do we know? She had a daring job and she took risks. She had to find another topic. And did she agree with her editor?
No.
Okay, so she had to find another topic, so she moved to New York City to find another job. New York City. Okay?
I'm ready to read.
All right. Let's finish this page. I'll have you read, and then if we have time, Tyree, you can probably read that paragraph.
The bottom one?
Yep.
I read a lot.
Everybody needs to use their pointer finger so I know that you're following along.
Okay, restart.
In 1887, let's just start again.
She decided to write about the
Blackwell's
Blackwell's
Island.
But that's not the beginning.
I think you're on a different page, sir. We're on page. We're right here.
In 1977,
New York City.
she wanted to write about the conditions
In the asylum.
Bly
Pretended Mentally?
mentally ill.
You know, you'd probably be a better reader if you sat up. There we go. Okay.
So that she could stay there. She lived in dirty
There's that word again.
conditions, ate rotten food, was
Beaten.
beaten, and had ice cold
Yeah. Oh my.
Hey Ray,
People were shook when they read Bly's stories. They didn't know that conditions in the early
Asylum?
asylum were so bad. Conditions improved because of Bly's stories.
Okay, so what happened?
everybody was shocked because they read her story.
Okay, so she went into asylum and pretended that she was mentally ill. Okay? And mentally ill, that just means, yeah, she just maybe acted out of the norm, right? Not for attention, but I mean, she had to act differently in order to fit in with the other people that were there that can't function on their own. So there she lived in dirty conditions, ate rotten food, and was beaten. These people were not treated very well, were they? Okay. And these people just did not live a healthy, normal life, did they? And she wanted people to know about this, so she acted mentally ill to write about her conditions living there.
All they have to do is read one more page and we're on chapter 3.
You are correct, my man, and we actually are running out of time here. But what are some other details we can write?
You can write that she wrote stories about where she was living and then everybody was shocked and made it, and now it's because of her.
Did things improve because of her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her stories help people understand the living conditions. So she wrote about the factory with women, right? And she wrote about the asylum. She also went to Mexico. What did she write about there?
She wrote about how it was like there.
What did they specifically talk about? Do we remember? So we'll write that she wrote about the factories, the asylum,
She was there for 6 months.
and Mexico. But what did she write when she was in Mexico? She told them to write about her travels. Everybody turn to page 7.
She had it over on page.
She told him that she would
write
about her travels, but Bly also wrote about a
Mexican
journalist
who
You need to follow along there.
to a
who had been sent to a prison because he had complained about the Mexican government. So she wrote about a specific journalist that was speaking his mind, right, about the Mexican government. And where did he end up? In prison. So she wrote about other people's views and how they were treated.
One that wanted to be raped.
What is that?
What if the people that she wrote about didn't want her to write about them?
Well, I'm sure he wanted to hear his voice, right? So he wanted people to know how he was treated. So I'm sure that he gave her permission to do that, right? And same with the other people, the women in factories and the asylum. Well, nobody at the asylum knew that she was faking, right? Her disability.
Like a place where people say they
But-
thought it was real.
But yeah. But guess what happened?
Why?
Things started
Articles.
Things started becoming better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things were changed because of her. So her stories probably saved some lives, right?
This page.
So she was kind of a hero. All right, we'll see what other stories, how her stories improved other lives. Okay,
Yes.
when we come back tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Hey, did you know my mom works in Gordon Corral and she cleans up houses? My mom.
I did not know that.
Cleans up houses. My mom.
Does she want to come clean my house?
I don't know.
We had a busy Thanksgiving weekend. So
Oh, we
my
went to a
house
hotel
is
and we
not
got a sweet.
sweet.
How old are
Sweet.
you?
Sweet about the sweet. All right, can I sign your goal sheet, sir?
Miss Coles, how old are you?
I am almost 32.
My
Were
mom
we on
is-
task?
My mom is 27 because she had me at like 18 or 17. My mom had me around my mom had Katie around 15.
Wow.
And then my mom.
They are young, aren't they?
She had me. My mom had me about around like the 18.
Wow.
32.
Look at you doing all that work. I love seeing you busy. Really using your time wisely. Okay, let's see who else I have coming.